Imagine this, somewhere in America tonight. A retired couple is sitting quietly at their kitchen table. The bills are spread out in front of them. Their Social Security payment has arrived. Their pension has been deposited. By every measure, they did everything right. They worked hard, saved consistently, avoided unnecessary debt, planned carefully for retirement. Yet somehow, the numbers don't stretch as far as they once did. Not because they made poor financial decisions, but because the cost of simply living has quietly continued to rise. Groceries cost more. Insurance premiums keep increasing. Property taxes edge higher every year. Even an occasional lunch with friends now feels like something to budget for. Little by little, retirement starts feeling less like freedom and more like careful financial management. But here's something many people overlook. The biggest factor affecting your retirement may not be how much money you have. It may be where you choose to live. Across America, there are still small towns where retirees enjoy a comfortable lifestyle without watching every dollar disappear. Places where housing remains within reach. Health care is close by. Taxes are manageable, and neighbors still know each other by name. Over the past several weeks, we've researched retirement communities across the country, comparing affordability, health care, taxes, safety, and overall quality of life. But we also paid attention to something statistics can't measure. Does a town actually feel like home? Because when happy retirees describe where they live, they rarely start by talking about taxes. They talk about peaceful mornings, friendly neighbors, local cafes where everyone knows their name, and the simple joy of finally having time to enjoy life. Today, we're counting down 10 small towns where your retirement dollar goes further in 2026. Some have quietly climbed retirement rankings. Others remain hidden gems that deserve far more attention. And before we reach our number one pick, you'll discover one town that completely changed our expectations of what affordable retirement can really look like. Welcome to Settled Living, where we help Americans discover the best places to live, retire, and truly thrive. If you enjoy carefully researched retirement guides, consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell. Now, let's begin. Because our first town proves that sometimes the smartest retirement move isn't the one everyone is talking about. 10. Granbury, Texas. About an hour southwest of Fort Worth sits a lakeside town that's quietly becoming one of Texas's best retirement values. Granbury isn't flashy. It doesn't have towering skylines or crowded tourist attractions. Instead, it offers something many retirees appreciate even more: a slower, simpler way of life. The historic Courthouse Square is the heart of the community. Local cafes, bookstores, antique shops, and weekend markets create a downtown where people actually stop to talk. Just a few minutes away, Lake Granbury offers peaceful walking trails, boating, fishing, and beautiful sunsets that become part of everyday life rather than something reserved for holidays. Financially, Granbury makes plenty of sense. Texas has no state income tax, allowing Social Security benefits, pensions, and retirement withdrawals to go further. Housing remains more affordable than many Dallas-Fort Worth suburbs, while Lake Granbury Medical Center provides dependable local health care with nationally recognized specialists available nearby in Fort Worth. Robert, a retired airline mechanic from Oklahoma, planned to spend only one afternoon exploring Granbury before continuing his retirement search. Instead, he and his wife found themselves lingering by the lake long after dinner, watching families fish, listening to the evening sounds around the water. Driving back to their hotel, Robert quietly said, "I think we've already found home." The next morning, they canceled the rest of their trip. That's the effect Granbury seems to have on many visitors. The only downside is that its secret is getting out. More retirees discover the town each year, and housing prices have gradually risen. Even so, Granbury remains one of the strongest retirement values in North Texas. But our next destination offers something money alone can never buy: a deep sense of peace. 9. Decorah, Iowa. If someone asked you to name a great retirement town, Iowa probably wouldn't be your first answer. That's exactly why Decorah remains one of America's best-kept secrets. Nestled among the rolling limestone bluffs of northeastern Iowa, Decorah offers a lifestyle that's difficult to find in larger cities. Its Norwegian heritage gives the town a unique character. Family-owned bakeries, independent bookstores, artisan shops, and welcoming cafes line a downtown that's built for walking rather than rushing. With just over 7,000 residents, Decorah feels small enough to know your neighbors, but active enough that there's always something happening. Luther College brings concerts, lectures, theater performances, and community events throughout the year, creating cultural opportunities that many towns twice its size can't match. Nature is never far away. The upper Iowa River winds through dramatic valleys. Walking trails connect neighborhoods, and every autumn the surrounding hills burst into spectacular shades of red and gold. Healthcare is provided locally through WinMed, while larger regional hospitals remain within comfortable driving distance. Housing also remains relatively affordable, and Iowa's improving retirement tax policies have made the state increasingly attractive for retirees. Linda, a retired school principal from Illinois, originally dreamed of retiring somewhere warm. Then a friend convinced her to spend one autumn weekend in Decorah. She expected beautiful scenery. She didn't expect strangers welcoming her at the farmer's market, or live music filling the downtown streets, or the feeling that she had somehow found the place she'd been searching for. 3 months later, she returned, not for another visit, but to move in. Today she smiles whenever people ask why she left warm weather behind. I traded palm trees for peace of mind. Decorah isn't for everyone. Winters are cold, snowy, and unmistakably Midwestern, but if you value community more than year-round sunshine, you'll find few towns that offer more for your retirement dollar. And if you think you've already seen the best value Texas has to offer, our next stop in the beautiful hill country might just change your mind. 8. Kerrville, Texas. If Granbury shows you one side of Texas, Kerrville introduces you to another. Nestled in the heart of the Texas Hill Country, Kerrville is a place where retirement naturally slows down. The Guadalupe River flows through town, creating peaceful walking paths, shady parks, and quiet places to sit with a cup of coffee and simply enjoy the morning. Downtown is filled with locally owned cafes, art galleries, boutique shops, and community theaters that give the town character without feeling crowded. Despite its relaxed atmosphere, Kerrville isn't isolated. San Antonio is just over an hour away, providing major shopping, entertainment, and world-class medical care whenever it's needed. Closer to home, Peterson Regional Medical Center has earned an excellent reputation for dependable health care. Financially, Kerrville continues to attract retirees for another reason. Texas has no state income tax, so Social Security benefits, pensions, and retirement withdrawals stay in your pocket. While housing prices have increased over the past several years, the town still offers better value than many of the Hill Country's best-known retirement destinations. James and Evelyn searched for nearly 2 years after retiring from Colorado. They visited Arizona, they explored North Carolina. Nothing quite felt right. Then they spent a day in Kerrville. A quiet walk beside the river, breakfast at a neighborhood cafe, friendly conversations with people they'd never met before. As they left town, James turned to his wife and smiled. "I don't think we need to keep looking. Sometimes retirement isn't about finding perfection. It's about finding peace. The only consideration is that Kerrville is becoming increasingly popular, and home prices continue to rise. Even so, it remains one of the strongest retirement values in the Texas Hill Country. But if Texas isn't where you picture retirement, our next destination proves you don't have to choose between mountain scenery, history, and affordability. 7. Staunton, Virginia. Some towns preserve history. Staunton simply lives it. Tucked into Virginia's beautiful Shenandoah Valley, this charming community offers brick sidewalks, beautifully restored buildings, independent bookstores, cafes, bakeries, and antique shops that make everyday errands feel enjoyable. The town's biggest cultural attraction is the American Shakespeare Center's Blackfriars Playhouse, where performances, concerts, and community events keep downtown lively throughout the year. Beyond downtown, retirees enjoy easy access to Shenandoah National Park and the scenic Skyline Drive, making weekend adventures feel wonderfully close. Healthcare is another reason Staunton continues attracting retirees. Augusta Health provides highly regarded local care, while the University of Virginia Health System in nearby Charlottesville offers outstanding specialist services less than an hour away. Virginia also exempts Social Security benefits from state income tax, helping retirees stretch their monthly income a little further. Howard, a retired architect from New Jersey, never planned to retire here. He simply stopped for lunch while driving through Virginia. Lunch became an afternoon exploring downtown. The afternoon became an evening at the theater. Before leaving the next morning, he called his wife. "I think we need to come back." 6 months later, they were restoring a century-old home just a few blocks from downtown. Today, Howard says retirement finally feels interesting, not because there's always something happening, but because every day gives him the freedom to choose. Staunton does have one practical consideration. Many of its older neighborhoods are built on hills, so retirees with mobility concerns should explore different areas before deciding where to live. Still, few towns combine culture, healthcare, mountain scenery, and affordability as successfully as Staunton. And speaking of changing expectations, our next destination may completely transform the way you think about New Mexico. 6. Silver City, New Mexico. When many people picture New Mexico, they imagine endless desert and intense summer heat. Silver City couldn't be more different. Perched nearly 6,000 feet above sea level on the edge of the Gila National Forest, this colorful mountain town enjoys cooler summers, crisp evenings, and 4 distinct seasons. It's also one of the Southwest's most authentic communities. Unlike many retirement towns, Silver City wasn't designed for retirees. Artists, musicians, university students, business owners, hikers, and retirees all live together, giving the town a lively and welcoming atmosphere. Its historic downtown is filled with art galleries, pottery studios, bookstores, cafes, and locally owned restaurants, where it's easy to spend an afternoon without ever checking the time. Housing remains one of Silver City's greatest strengths. Home prices are still well below many nationally known retirement destinations, making homeownership much more attainable for retirees living on fixed incomes. Healthcare is available through Gila Regional Medical Center, while larger specialist facilities can be reached within a reasonable drive when needed. Carol, a retired librarian from Phoenix, originally visited Silver City simply to escape the Arizona heat for a long weekend. She expected cooler weather. Instead, she found something she hadn't realized she was missing: community. By the end of the weekend, she'd visited the farmers market, attended a local art exhibition, and shared dinner with people she'd met only hours before. A year later, she returned, not as a visitor, but as a resident. Today, she says, "I came looking for cooler weather. I found a place where I finally belonged." Silver City isn't perfect. Retirees who require frequent specialist care should carefully consider travel distances before relocating. But for healthy retirees looking for mountain scenery, affordability, creativity, and genuine community, Silver City remains one of America's most rewarding hidden gems. If mountain living isn't your dream, our next destination offers something entirely different: a peaceful coastal town where history, southern charm, and waterfront living come together beautifully. 5. Beaufort, South Carolina. Some retirement destinations impress you with excitement. Beaufort wins people over with peace. As the sun rises over South Carolina's low country, fishing boats drift quietly across the marina, while Spanish moss sways beneath towering live oak trees. Couples stroll along the waterfront. Neighbors greet one another with a smile, and the entire town seems to move at a gentler pace. Located along the Atlantic coast, Bayfort offers much of the charm people love about Charleston, but with fewer crowds and a lower cost of living. Its walkable historic district is lined with locally owned cafes, bookstores, art galleries, seafood restaurants, and waterfront parks that make everyday life feel special. Healthcare is another important advantage. Beaufort Memorial Hospital continues expanding its services, while larger regional medical centers remain within easy driving distance whenever specialist care is needed. South Carolina is also one of the more retiree-friendly states financially. Social Security benefits aren't taxed by the state, and many retirees qualify for generous deductions on other retirement income, helping monthly budgets stretch a little further. Eleanor spent 40 years working as a marine biologist. Everyone assumed she'd retire to Florida. Instead, she chose Beaufort. Now her mornings begin with coffee overlooking the marina before volunteering at a local environmental education center. She often tells friends, "I didn't retire from the coast. I retired into it." That simple sentence perfectly captures Beaufort. You're not simply living near the water. The water becomes part of everyday life. There is one important consideration. Coastal living also brings hurricane risk, and insurance costs have risen in recent years. Before relocating, it's wise to compare both housing prices and insurance premiums carefully. For many retirees, the lifestyle is well worth that trade-off. If coastal living isn't your dream, our next destination offers something entirely different, a place where one of America's national parks becomes part of your everyday neighborhood. 4. Hot Springs, Arkansas. Imagine waking up on an ordinary Tuesday morning and deciding to spend a few hours hiking through a national park. Not because you're on holiday, because it's practically next door. That's everyday life in Hot Springs. Bordering Hot Springs National Park, this welcoming Arkansas community blends affordability with outdoor beauty in a way few retirement towns can match. Forest trails, scenic mountain overlooks, Bathhouse Row, Lake Hamilton, and peaceful parks are all part of daily life. Many retirees discover something unexpected after moving here. Their schedules become simpler, but their lives become fuller. Morning walks replace shopping trips. Afternoons are spent exploring trails, lakes, or local cafes. Evenings often end watching the sunset over the water. Financially, Hot Springs continues offering excellent value. Home prices remain comfortably below many nationally known retirement destinations, making homeownership much more attainable. Arkansas also exempts Social Security benefits from state income tax, allowing retirees to keep more of their monthly income. Healthcare is readily available through CHI St. Vincent Hot Springs and National Park Medical Center, while Little Rock's larger hospital network is close enough for specialist treatment whenever necessary. Dennis spent years planning retirement holidays to America's national parks. Then one day he asked himself, why not simply live beside one? Within a year, he'd moved to Hot Springs. On his first morning there, he watched sunrise over the Ouachita Mountains and quietly laughed. This isn't vacation anymore. This is home. The biggest adjustment for many newcomers is the climate. Arkansas summers can be warm and humid, especially for retirees arriving from northern states. Fortunately, the region also enjoys relatively mild winters, making it an attractive year-round destination. But our next town offers something many retirees eventually discover matters even more than scenery: a true sense of belonging. 3. Murray, Kentucky. Ask retirees what matters most after they've lived somewhere for several years. Surprisingly, few begin by talking about taxes, or home prices, or even the weather. Instead, they talk about people, the neighbors who wave each morning, the friends they meet for coffee, The familiar faces at the farmer's market. That's exactly what makes Murray so special. Located between Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley, Murray combines the warmth of a small town with the energy of a thriving university community. With fewer than 20,000 residents, it's large enough to provide everything most retirees need, while remaining small enough that familiar faces quickly become part of daily life. Murray State University keeps the community active year-round through concerts, sporting events, theater productions, lectures, and cultural festivals. There's always something happening, but life never feels rushed. Financially, Murray continues offering excellent value. Housing remains comfortably below national averages. Property taxes are relatively modest, and Kentucky's retiree-friendly tax policies help many residents keep more of their retirement income. Healthcare is another strength. Murray-Callaway County Hospital provides dependable local care, while larger regional medical centers are within comfortable driving distance. Linda and Gary spent almost 40 years living in suburban Atlanta. Their biggest concern about retirement wasn't money, it was loneliness. Within weeks of moving to Murray, they had joined a walking group, started volunteering, attended university concerts, and found themselves recognizing familiar faces almost everywhere they went. One afternoon, Gary smiled and said, "We've lived here 6 weeks and already know more neighbors than we did after 10 years back home." That may be Murray's greatest strength. It doesn't simply offer affordable retirement. It creates opportunities for real connection. Of course, the slower pace won't suit everyone. If your ideal retirement revolves around luxury shopping, professional sports every weekend, or a major international airport nearby, you'll occasionally find yourself driving to Nashville or Paducah. For many retirees, though, that's exactly why they chose Murray, because peace often begins when life becomes just a little less complicated. And our final 2 towns prove that some of America's very best retirement communities have been quietly hiding in plain sight all along. 2. Appleton, Wisconsin. Mention retirement in Wisconsin, and many people immediately think of one thing: winter. It's a fair concern, but focusing only on the snow causes many retirees to overlook one of America's most balanced retirement communities. Appleton. Set along the Fox River, Appleton offers the conveniences of a small city while preserving the warmth of a close-knit community. Downtown is lively without feeling overwhelming. Walking trails follow the river. Coffee shops spill onto the sidewalks. Independent bookstores, family-owned restaurants, theaters, and local boutiques create the kind of place where it's easy to become a regular. Lawrence University brings another layer of life to the city through concerts, lectures, theater productions, and cultural events that keep retirees engaged throughout the year. Healthcare is one of Appleton's greatest strengths. Fed Acare Regional Medical Center and Ascension, Wisconsin, provide comprehensive medical care, while the region consistently ranks highly for physician availability and healthcare quality. For retirees, that means something invaluable: peace of mind. Knowing excellent healthcare is close by allows people to enjoy retirement with greater confidence. Ruth spent more than 30 years working as a librarian in Minneapolis. When she retired, she imagined life becoming quieter. Instead, it became fuller. Tuesday walking club, Wednesday volunteering, Thursday book discussions, Friday evening concerts, Saturday mornings at the farmer's market. When friends ask if retirement has become boring, she simply laughs. "I'm busier than ever. The difference is, every hour belongs to me." Of course, Appleton asks one thing in return: you have to embrace winter. Snow isn't something residents endure. It's simply another season of life. Those willing to enjoy all 4 seasons often discover one of the Midwest's most complete retirement communities. And now we've reached the town that surprised us more than any other during our research. 1. Berea, Kentucky. Some retirement towns impress you with statistics. Others impress you with scenery. Berea quietly does something much more meaningful. It reminds people what retirement was always meant to feel like. Nestled against the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Berea has earned national recognition for its rich tradition of arts and craftsmanship, but its greatest strength isn't found inside its galleries. It's found in everyday life. Downtown is wonderfully walkable. Artisan workshops sit beside cozy cafes. Independent bookstores welcome regular customers. Local restaurants are filled with conversation instead of crowds. Everything feels genuine, unhurried, comfortable. Financially, Berea continues making a compelling case for retirement. Housing remains comfortably below many national averages, making homeownership realistic for retirees living on fixed incomes. Kentucky's retiree-friendly tax policies help many residents keep more of their monthly income, while Baptist Health Richmond and nearby Lexington provide dependable access to excellent health care. Nature is always close by. The Pinnacles hiking trails, Daniel Boone National Forest, quiet country roads, peaceful fishing lakes. Life here isn't built around spending more money. It's built around making better use of your time. Harold and Susan searched for almost a year before discovering Berea. Every town they visited seemed to require a compromise. One offered affordable homes, but little community. Another had excellent health care, but stretched their budget. Then they spent one weekend in Berea. They explored artisan workshops, hiked the Pinnacles, shared breakfast with two couples they'd only met the day before. Driving home, Susan quietly said, "I don't think we're searching anymore." Harold smiled. "I think we already found it." Several years later, someone asked Harold what he appreciated most about retirement. He didn't mention the house. He didn't mention the taxes. He didn't even mention the scenery. Instead, he paused before answering. "The greatest gift retirement gave us wasn't a different house. It was finally having time to enjoy the life we'd spent 40 years working toward." Perhaps that's Berea's greatest lesson. Retirement isn't about having more. It's about finally having enough. Enough time, enough peace, enough freedom to enjoy the life you've earned. When we began this journey, we talked about something millions of retirees quietly experience, the feeling that their money simply doesn't stretch as far as it once did. But after exploring these 10 remarkable communities, one thing becomes clear. Retirement isn't always about increasing your income. Sometimes it's about choosing a place where your income simply goes further. Today we've visited peaceful lakeside towns, historic downtowns, mountain communities, coastal neighborhoods, national park gateways, college towns, and places where neighbors still greet one another by name. Every destination offered something different. Some offered lower housing costs. Some provided excellent health care. Some surrounded you with natural beauty. Others offered something that's much harder to measure, a genuine sense of belonging. Because after researching retirement communities across America, one truth kept appearing again and again. The happiest retirees rarely talk about the size of their investment portfolio. Instead, they talk about morning walks, coffee with friends, farmers markets, volunteer work, time with grandchildren, and quiet evenings on the porch without worrying about tomorrow. Those are the moments that make retirement feel truly rich. So don't ask only, "Where can I afford to retire?" Ask the more important question, "Where can I build the life I've been working toward?" Rule. One of today's towns might be that place. Or perhaps this guide simply encourages you to look beyond the retirement destinations everyone else is considering. Either way, that's a wonderful place to begin. If you enjoyed this guide, we'd love to welcome you to the Settled Living community. Please like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our weekly retirement guides. And before you go, tell us in the comments, which of these towns could you genuinely picture yourself calling home? Or is there another small town you think deserves to be on this list? We read every comment, and your experience could help another retiree discover the place they've been searching for. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and keep building the retirement you've worked so hard to earn, because retirement isn't the end of the journey. It's the beginning of living life on your own terms. We'll see you in the next video.